I'm Jasmine Durrett, and I'm going to show you an example of my teaching style. I've chosen to do World War II. To begin with, though, you need to discuss how World War I ended. In World War I, it was the Triple Entente and the Triple Alliance that were competing against each other. In the Triple Entente, it was France, Britain, and Germany. Russia, sorry, not Germany. In the Triple Alliance, it was Italy, Germany, and Japan. And so the two of them, or the two alliances, they went together and they fought. And at the beginning of the war, it was Germany who started the war, and they ended up losing the entire war for the Triple Alliance. At the end of the war, they ended up having a treaty, and it was called the Treaty of Versailles. In this treaty, they said that Germany would have to pay for all the losses because they were the reason that the war had started. And so they ended up paying France, Britain, and Russia so much money that they ended up causing their own country to go bankrupt. Also, in this treaty, they had to lose a lot of their land, and the most important land that they lost was the Rhineland. During this time, Germany had grown a lot. They had expanded their country, and they had expanded their military as well. And so in the treaty, it said they had to demobilize and demilitarize their entire military. And so because of this, the German population, they wanted a new socialist party, or new political party. And so it is the Nazi political party that rises. And through this, we have Adolf Hitler. He is born in 1889 in Austria. He wanted to be an artist. He applied for the Austrian School of Art, and he was rejected. And so many believe that his rejection is what caused him to go and become even more and more upset. And so he fought in World War I. He was just a messenger. He wasn't any high-ranking official. And so at the end, he ended up growing, and people liked him a lot. And because of this, he started talking and telling people his ideas, and they loved him. They loved the way he spoke, and they loved all of his ideas. So he would become the leader of the Nazi Germany. And there's pictures, I don't know how well y'all can see them, but that's a picture of him when he's a baby. And then this is during World War I. And so the reason why Hitler has the mustache that he does, and why it is so infamous, is because during World War I, they had to wear gas masks. And during this time, the masks only fit right here, and so everything outside of it, it would burn off. And so because of this, they shaved all their beards and mustaches just like this. And so everybody had their mustaches looking like this, not just Hitler. He ended up keeping it, though, at the end of World War I and just continued doing it. So making it where nobody else can really have that kind of a mustache. Alright, so Hitler's vision for Germany. When Hitler comes to Germany, he is invited to join a small National Socialist political party that no one knew. He would end up turning this political party into the Nazi Party. And everybody was very excited for this. It wasn't something he had to force onto people. It was something that they were wanting, that they were cheering for. And so they loved this. So his vision, he wrote down in a book called Mein Kampf, and in it details his entire process and what he wanted. So he hated the Weimar Republic. That is the republic that started up right at the end of World War I. Because during World War I, it was a monarchy. And so at the end of the war, the monarchy fell and the Weimar Republic started. And so Hitler, he blamed the Versailles Treaty on the Weimar leaders. He said that they should have done better in the treaty, that they shouldn't have given up so much land and so much money, that they should have held their ground and said, no, we had a valid reason for going to war. And so he also urged the Germans to abandon their democracy and choose a strong leader. He wanted them to see that he is a very powerful and a very wonderful leader. He's a great orator, and even today, when people are learning how to do speeches, they study Hitler because he was the absolute best orator in history. Alright, so he had the Aryan race. The Aryans, they actually developed thousands of years ago, and they came to India and they took over the entire Indian population, and he believed them to be the most superior race, and he identified them as blonde hair, blue eyes, pale skin, which is very ironic considering Hitler is fairly tan, dark hair, and brown eyes. But the Aryans, they are the superior race, and he planned to wipe out all the Slavs and the Poles to make room for German settlers. He believed that the Slavs and the Poles were not worthy to come and live in Germany. So this would be a picture of the ideal German. He's very strong, powerful looking, and he's chiseled. That's what they like to see. Alright, so the anti-Semitism. He had a very strong hatred towards the Jews, and the word anti-Semitism literally means a hatred towards the Jews. And so he believed that the Jews were a literal plague on the German people. He did not want them there, and he also thought that they were the reason communism started up. And a lot of the Jews that were in Russia, they left because the communist people don't like Jews. And so this was a very hard concept for Hitler, but he knew he did not like the Jews, and he wanted to be able to show everybody else why they are so evil. And so he showed them that, look, the Jews, they're the doctors, they're the businessmen, they're the lawyers. So they are the ones that need to be leave. They are the ones that need to leave. They're taking over our economy, and look, we're bankrupt. It's because of the Jews. And so he blamed the entire war, all the problems on the Jewish people. And every German said, "You're right, I agree with you. It is not right." And so they made all these political posters. And political posters, their main point, their main reason is to tell people what they should believe in and show them, look, this is what you want, you don't want them. And so that they would do this. And they are very, very effective posters. They use these a lot. And it's not just the Germans or the Nazi political party that uses them. We still use political posters today. In America, they're having the election, the presidential election that's going on, and everywhere you turn, you see a political poster. Either for Trump, against Trump, for Hillary, against Hillary. Either way, they're everywhere. They're a very modern concept, but they are predated in history as well. So Hitler, he is voted the chancellor. He gains a lot of popularity in the party, so he goes up and up. And eventually they vote him chancellor, and he is in the German Reichstag and elected chancellor in 1933. So the Third Reich, this is what his plan, his army is called. The Third Reich, it just means that we are going to live for thousands of years and everything is going to be perfect. And so the Nazi is a fascist form of government with high nationalism, militarism, low human rights, and a dictator. And so the Nazi party started up as getting everybody very excited to renew Germany, to make Germany great again. Well, fascism comes in and it says, yes, we want Germany to be great. That's where the nationalism part is. The militarism is saying, we're going to build up our army and we're going to make it the best. And then they slowly sneak in the fact that you're not going to have that much rights and we're going to have a dictator. But don't worry, things are going to be great. So that's what the Germans said. And so they had their chancellors, he had his upper right-hand man, and then he had totalitarianism. This is a form of government in which a government attempts to control every aspect of a person's life. Their job, their religion, their speech, their education, and their income. So this takes away every aspect of your freedom and it gives it all to the government. And so that is Stalin. He's the member of the USSR, and he is also the president. He had a 5-year plan that was very effective, but Hitler and Stalin didn't get along because they couldn't quite comprehend, couldn't believe the same concepts of communism. And so he had an enabling act. It is signed by those elected in the Reichstag, and the Reichstag, that is like their parliament or the Congress. It's their governing body is what it is. And so he removed the Constitution of the Weimar Republic, giving Adolf Hitler full power. So once this Constitution is ripped away, he now has total and complete control and power of Germany. The Nazi Party controls the entire government, which when all the other countries start seeing this, they realize, okay, something is going to happen. I don't know if it's going to be another world war, but something is definitely about to happen. And so another aspect was the Jewish problem. Hitler, he plans to completely get rid of all the Jewish people in Germany, but he does not want to stop there. He wants to eradicate Jews from the entire face of the earth. He wants them completely gone so that they can't come back and take over. So at first, the Jewish people, their jobs were outlawed and it was illegal to hire Jews. So he slowly and gradually made it where Jews could no longer work. Eventually, they could no longer shop in certain stores, and then they had to move out of their residences. It got so bad that he begins a mandatory sterilization. Sterilization is making it where they could no longer have kids. And if you get rid of the next generation, well, that gives way to no more. You can't continue a race by eliminating an entire generation. It just won't work. So he wants to sterilize the Jews, the handicapped, the homosexuals, the gypsies, the Slavs, and the political enemies. It's not just the Jewish people he wants to get rid of. He doesn't like anybody that is different. And so he convinces everybody that they are all bad and they are all evil. And so these are different signs that they have on their windows showing you can't hire Jews, or this is a Jewish workplace and we're going to completely take it over. Alright, this picture is Kristallnacht. This is a night when the Germans, they went and they burned down multiple synagogues. And there's glass everywhere. And this is when people realized it is no longer safe to be a Jew inside of Germany. Okay, so rebuilding Germany. Not only did Hitler want to get rid of the Jewish people, but his ultimate goal is to make Germany great again. And he believed that getting rid of the Jewish people will help put them in the right step. And then also he creates a policy forcing all men and women to work to rebuild the German Reich. And so he says, you have to go out and you have to build. We're going to make our roads great again. After World War I, their roads were completely bombed. Their buildings were destroyed, and so they have to rebuild everything. He wants them to be a great country, not only as a political force, but also when you look at it, you can see that this country is powerful, that they are strong. And so he does this by rebuilding infrastructure, which is the roads, by building up the military and creating unemployment of 0%. There is no person that is not working. Everybody has to work. And because of all of his tactics and his strategies, it works very well. Germany becomes a very militaristic nation and very, very strong. So the Third Reich, it grows. Hitler annexes countries around Germany. So when he annexes, it means he took them and he added them inside of Germany. So they are no longer an independent country. They are now a part of Germany. So he annexes Austria, Czechoslovakia, and the Rhineland. And remember, the Rhineland was originally Germany's to begin with, and it was taken away from them during the Treaty of Versailles. So the Rhinelands and the people that were living there, it was no problem going back to Germany. They actually welcomed it. And when the German military rolled into Austria, they were welcomed, they were rewarded, they had parades for these people, for the German military. So they were very excited for this. It wasn't as if Hitler took his military, stormed down their gates, and said, you are now part of Germany. They were welcomed in with open arms. Okay, so I'll stop here. And if you need any more styles of my teaching, just let me know. I hope you have enjoyed. Thank you for watching.